Today I am going to tell you about mass spectrometer. What is mass spectrometer? An instrument which is used to measure isotopic masses of different isotopes of elements and their relative abundance is called mass spectrometer. What are isotopes? The forms of elements having same atomic number but different mass number because they have different number of neutrons present in them are known as isotopes. Now, as one element has so many isotopes, elements can be monoisotopic, diisotopic, triisotopic. For example, hydrogen. Hydrogen consists of three isotopes: protium, tritium and deuterium. Now, by means of mass spectrometer, we can understand that how much amount of protium, tritium and deuterium present on the earth crust, and we can also understand that there are three isotopes of hydrogen are present on the earth. So the phenomena in which we study about the masses of isotopes and about their relative abundances are known as mass spectrometry. What information given to us by mass spectrometer? Mass spectrometer tells us about the number of isotopes in the form of peaks on a computer, on a recorder, by amplifying it. It also tells us about isotopic masses and in how much amount they are present, about their relative abundances. There are two types of mass spectrometer. One is Aston mass spectrometer and the second is Dempster mass spectrometer. Aston mass spectrometer was the old one. It is only for the gaseous substances. It has no concerns with the solid and liquid. And it separates the isotopes on the basis of masses only. While nowadays Dempster mass spectrometer is used, and it's a modern spectrometer. It can measure solid, liquid and gases, as well as it separates the masses on the basis of mass to charge value. So definitely Dempster mass spectrometer is more accurate than as compared to Aston mass spectrometer. Now this is the very simple diagram of Dempster mass spectrometer, by which we can understand that how it is made and how it works. First of all, we have to enter our sample. It can be any substance like neon, amino acids or water vapors. When we enter our substance, the substance get vaporized. So the second step is vaporization, which will be done in vaporizer. Then after vaporization, ionization will take place, means that the substance will change into ions. Mass spectrometer, Dempster mass spectrometer, works with the positive ions. After ionization, it will move towards accelerator, which is also known as negative gate, to attract positive ions which are formed in the ionization chamber. After negative grid, we will move toward monochromator. In monochromator, magnetic and electric field both are given to the positive ions. After monochromator, it will move towards the analyzer for analysis. And after analyzer, the ions will make a curve and fall upon the detector. From detector, it will move towards amplifier, and from amplifier, it will give peaks on the computer. So by this, we can understand that how much isotopes are present in the form of peaks and their relative abundances by making a graph. So this is a very simple explanation of Dempster mass spectrometer. In further slides, I am going to tell you in detail. So we will start from vaporization. The substance for analysis for isotope separation is converted into vapor state by heating. The vaporizing chamber is present before ionizing chamber. In most of the cases in Damster mass spectrometer, the vaporizing chamber hasn't been shown, but it is present. The pressure of these vapors kept very low, up to 10 raised to power minus 6 to 10 raised to power minus 7. Now the question arises that why the pressure kept very low? Because at low pressure the gas molecules will get scattered. They will move far away from each other, and definitely if they get scattered, proper ionization will take place. So after vaporization, the ions will move towards ionization chamber. What happens in ionization chamber? As I have told you before, mass spectrometer always work with the positive ions. Positive ions will be generated from the vaporized material by lowering the pressure up to 10 raised to power minus 6 to 10 raised to power minus 7 by bombarding high beams of electrons over it. What we have to do in the ionization chamber? We have to bombard high beams of electron. As we bombard high beams of electrons, what happens? High beams of electron can be given by means of electron gun or by means of filament or by means of coil. Now when high energy beam of electrons collide with vaporized form of sample, it will knock out the electrons from the sample, and we will get lots and lots of positive ions. Now here we can take an example. If we put water vapor in a mass spectrometer, we know that water is made up of 2 hydrogen and 1 oxygen. If hydrogen and oxygen is bombarded, water vapors are bombarded with the high beam of electrons, what happens? These electrons will collide with the water vapor. If the collision is strong, means that if very high collision take place between the water vapors and the high beam of electron, then we get lots and lots of ions like H positive, OH positive and so many else, H3O positive. But if the collision is lighter one, what happens at that case if the collision is lighter one? I have shown you in the equation as well that the water and one fast electron when collide lightly, H2O positive ion will generate and the 2 electrons will knock out. What is the function of accelerator in mass spectrometer? It is a negative grid, and definitely as it is a negative grid, it will attract all the positive ions which are moved from ionization chamber. These are perforated plate with negative charge and potential difference of electric field 500 to 2000 volt. You should have to learn the values. Now as it is negatively charged, so it will attract all the positive ions, and the positive ions will get speed up to move forward towards the monochromator. So its function is just to speed up the positive ions, so they can easily move towards their next levels. Now the next part of the mass spectrometer is monochromator. It is also known as velocity selector because the ions which have moderate velocity will pass through it, while all other ions which do not have moderate velocity will stuck off. Now the positive ions with specific velocity will pass through it. 2 electric plates are provided here. two electric uh, two electric plates and two magnetic plates. The two electric plates hold perpendicular to the two magnetic plates. So we can say that the electric field in monochromator is perpendicular to the magnetic field. So as these two forces are applying perpendicularly on the positive ions which are forwarded by the accelerator, only those particles will pass through undeflected which have moderate velocity. Now as it is shown in the diagram that the positive ions are moving from the magnetic field as well as electric field which are held perpendicular to each other. As the result, the moderate velocity ions will pass through it. What is the function of analyzer? It is used for analysis. The positive charge ions now reach in another area of two big magnets which are producing high magnetic field. Now these two magnets will act as an ion separator. The magnetic field will separate the molecules on the basis of mass to charge values. Different peaks will be shown on the detector and computer, so we will understand that how many isotopes of that substance are present by counting the peaks. Now as these are charged molecules, these are positive ions, so magnetic field will apply centripetal force upon them. We all know that due to centripetal force it will move round. Charged particles will form curve due to centripetal force upon them. Small size atom will affect earlier with magnetic force and fall on detector with short curve, while no doubt big size molecules will give big curves. Now the angle of the curve with which the ion falls upon the detector gives us the radius. Now if we get the radius, we will get the mass. If we get the radius, we will get the mass. Here is some simple and little equation for you so that you can understand that how radius is equal to mass and how they equalizes each other. Fm stands for magnetic force and it's equal to centripetal force because the positive ions are falling on the detector in the form of curve. Now we know that the magnetic force is equal to charge, velocity, and B stands for the magnetic force, while centripetal force equalizes mass, velocity over radius. The velocity present in magnetic force will be cancelled by one of the velocity present in the centripetal force. So the rest of the equation which is left behind will be QB is equal to mv by r. Now if we take the radius on the left hand side and the rest of the left hand side equation will be on the right hand side. In this equation it is simply shown that radius is directly proportional to mass to charge value. So in this way, by finding out the radius of the curve, we can find out mass to charge value of that ion. Here is a simple graph between relative abundance and mass to charge value. This is the graph for neon. Neon has three isotopes, neon 20, neon 21 and neon 22. And here is the relative abundances which are shown 90.92%, 0.26% and 8.82%. So these three peaks are showing that neon has three isotopes. And their relative abundances are showing that in how much amount these isotopes are present on the earth crust. So it's all about mass spectrometer. Thank you so much.